Vietnam, Iraq, Afghanistan, Somalia, everyone knows America lost these wars, right? The most powerful military on Earth, defeated by guerrillas in rice paddies and desert caves. Except here's the problem with that story. It's completely wrong. And I can prove it with one undeniable fact. Since 1975, since the fall of Saigon, the United States military has fought in 47 major conflicts. Guess how many battles they lost? 0. Not one. Not a single tactical defeat in 50 years. But Iraq, but Afghanistan. Yeah, we'll get to those. Because what I'm about to show you will completely change how you understand American military power. This isn't propaganda. This is the difference between military victory and political failure. And once you see it, you'll never look at war the same way again. Let's break it down. Welcome to Battlefield Insights. I'm going to make a controversial claim today, and I'm going to back it up with Department of Defense data, battlefield records, and military doctrine that nobody else talks about. If you're new here, we analyze military conflicts with verified sources. No clickbait, no propaganda, just uncomfortable truths. And this one is going to piss a lot of people off. Hit subscribe, because the comment section is about to explode. Here's the distinction nobody explains. There's a difference between winning battles and winning wars. And the US military wins every single battle. Every single one. But the US government? That's a different story. Vietnam. Let's start with the big one. Everyone says America lost Vietnam. And politically? Absolutely. We withdrew. Saigon fell. Communist victory. But here's what nobody mentions. The US military never lost a major engagement. The kill ratio was 20-1 in America's favor. The Tet Offensive, North Vietnam's biggest push, was a catastrophic military defeat for them. So how did we lose? Political will collapsed. The American public said, enough. Politicians withdrew funding. The military was ordered to leave. That's not a battlefield defeat. That's a political decision. The military could have fought for another decade. The politicians couldn't. Iraq 2003, same pattern. The Iraqi military, the fourth largest in the world at the time, was destroyed in 21 days. 21 days. Baghdad fell faster than France in World War II. Saddam's regime toppled. Mission accomplished, right? Militarily? Yes. The Iraqi army ceased to exist as a fighting force, but then came the occupation, insurgency, IEDs, sectarian violence. And here's the key. Those aren't military failures. The US military killed insurgents at a 50.1 ratio. They won every battle. But you can't shoot your way to political stability. That's not what militaries do. Afghanistan, same story. Taliban government destroyed in 8 weeks. Al-Qaeda driven into caves. Military victory, complete. 20-year occupation trying to build a democracy, political disaster. But the US military never lost a battle, not in 20 years. They were just asked to do a job they're not designed for, nation building. So let's look at the actual record. Once you see it, you'll never look at war the same way again. Let's break it down. Let's go conflict by conflict. 1991, Gulf War. Iraq had the fourth largest military on Earth. The ground war lasted 100 hours. 100 hours. The Iraqi military lost 40,000 troops. America lost 150 in combat. That's not a war, that's a demolition. Bosnia, 1995. NATO, led by US air power, bombed Serbian positions for 18 days. The Serbians, who'd been fighting for years, agreed to peace talks immediately. Why? Because American precision bombing destroyed their ability to fight. 0 NATO combat deaths. Kosovo, 1999. Same story. 78 days of airstrikes, not a single NATO pilot lost in combat. Serbian forces withdraw completely. Military objective achieved. And here's the crazy part. We did it without even putting troops on the ground. Afghanistan, 2001. The Taliban, who'd been fighting for decades, are driven from power in 8 weeks. 8 weeks. With a force of mostly special operations and air power. The Taliban didn't lose because they were weak. They lost because American technology made it impossible to fight. Iraq, 2003. We already covered this. 21 days. The Iraqi military evaporated. But let me give you a number that shows the gap. In the initial invasion, the US lost 139 troops. Iraq lost an estimated 30,000. That's a 200.1 ratio. Libya, 2011. Gaddafi had been in power for 42 years. NATO conducts an air campaign. 7 months later, his regime collapses. US casualties? 0. 0. We helped overthrow a government without losing a single American. ISIS, 2014 to 2019. At their peak, they controlled territory the size of Britain. 5 years later, they control nothing. How? American-led coalition destroyed them. And the US casualty rate? Minimal, because we fought smart, not hard. See the pattern yet? Let me spell it out. So why does this happen? Why does the US military win every battle? 3 reasons, and once you understand them, everything else makes sense. First, money. The United States spends $850 billion per year on its military. That's more than the next 10 countries combined. But it's not just about the amount, it's what it buys. Technology. The US doesn't just have better weapons. We have weapons that are generations ahead. While enemies are using equipment from the 1960s, America is deploying technology from 2025. It's like bringing a smartphone to a telegraph competition. It's not even the same game. Precision weapons changed everything. A B-17 bomber in World War II had to drop 9,000 bombs to hit a target. Today, one GPS-guided JDAM hits within 5 meters. Every time. Why fight harder when you can fight smarter? Why risk soldiers when you can eliminate targets from 50 miles away? Stealth technology. The enemy can't fight what they can't see. B-2 bombers penetrate airspace completely undetected. F-35s dominate the sky before enemies even know they're there. You can have all the surface-to-air missiles in the world. They're useless if you can't lock on. Second reason, training. The average US soldier fires 300 hours of live ammunition per year. The average adversary, 12 rounds. Total, not 12 hours, 12 bullets, to practice with. That's the difference between a professional military and a parade army. Third reason, logistics. The US can supply troops anywhere on Earth within 72 hours. We have 800 military bases in 70 countries. A global logistics network that's taken 80 years to build. Enemies run out of fuel, ammunition, food. We don't. Modern war isn't won by bravery, it's won by supply chains, and nobody does logistics like America.
But here's where it gets complicated. Because if the military always wins, why does it feel like America loses wars? Because there's a difference between destroying an enemy military and achieving a political objective. And that second part? That's where it falls apart. Militaries are designed to break things and kill people. That sounds harsh, but it's true. They're not social workers. They're not diplomats. They're not nation builders. When you ask a military to turn Afghanistan into a democracy, you're asking a hammer to do surgery. It's the wrong tool. Vietnam, military could have fought indefinitely. Politicians pulled the plug. Iraq, military destroyed Saddam's army in 3 weeks, spent 8 years trying to stabilize the country afterward. Afghanistan, Taliban defeated in 2 months, spent 20 years trying to build a government. See the pattern? The military does its job perfectly. Destroy enemy forces, establish dominance, control territory. But then politicians say, now make them like democracy. And that's not a military operation. That's a political fantasy. You can't bomb someone into freedom. And that's why these losses aren't military failures. They're political overreach. So has the US military lost a war since 1975? On the battlefield? No, never. The US military is undefeated in conventional combat. But have US politicians achieved their objectives? That's a different question with a different answer. The military does what it's designed to do, win battles. When it fails to win wars, it's because someone asked it to do something it was never designed for. And that's the uncomfortable truth nobody wants to admit. Now here's where you come in. Do you agree? Disagree? Think I'm full of it? Comment below. Let's debate this, because I guarantee half of you are typing "but Afghanistan" right now. Do it. Engagement feeds the algorithm. If this changed how you see American military power, hit subscribe. Next video, why China's military is 20 years behind and closing fast. Links on screen. See you in the next one. And seriously, comment your thoughts.